But a fool's provocation is heavier than both. So keep in mind that they're changing my voice. I'm not going to get angry in this video. Just a real quick video to help you understand why I'm right to express anger. I get fumed, poisoned, harassed. They use various technologies on me. Some of them are harder to believe than others. But people at this point in 2025 would probably believe everything that has happened to me. Time is on my side for various reasons. Over time, the Havana Syndrome was revealed. And people who would argue that targeted individuals were all crazy, they were forced to take a step back. When they saw the patents, when they saw the directed energy weapons used on the protesters, they were forced to take a step back. When they saw the DARPA projects, remote mind control, brain hacking, before you knew it, the trolls didn't know what to say. I've been making videos about how I've been targeted since maybe 2012 or so. It was part of my top martial arts challenge in 2013 in December 20th, 2013, where I said I'm being persecuted for my political views. Really, my social views is what I meant. But when I thought about it at the time, I said, well, political includes social and economic and religious. So I said I'm going to use the word political. But I do think it was the wrong word to use, but in that sense, it was the right word. Now, I've had a crush on a Jewish female before, named Helena. I've, Jewish people in my family, white people in my family. I was madly in love with a female named Maria Mello, who would have mellowed me out, ironically, and she was planted in the school I went to, Live Oak. And it has everything to do with, the Ebo landing. They like these little games, these wordplay games, and they've told me that themselves, right? Oakland, Ebo Landing, right? Highland Park shooting. And there's all kinds of other, Dixon Landing, or there's all kinds of other connections there. They like wordplay games which are designed to elicit a response. It's a story for another day. Again, people believe me. They know about magic spells, right? Spelling and magic spells in the occult by now. There's many videos. You can look it up on YouTube, TikTok. If they didn't ban it, the information is there. Look up occult cut-ups. The lexicon, etymology, linguistics, the Latin roots of words, Masonic wordplay. There's so many connections. Police code, gang code, on and on. It's one thing that they use, and ironically, psychiatrists are known to kind of drug people for discussing this stuff. Very suspicious, especially as the word pharmakeia, which is a root word for pharmaceuticals, means sorcerer. So in the midst of this crazy world that gaslights people and plays stupid about people, instead of giving people the true light of God, they gaslight them, which is a play on words for gaze light. The trance-like look in your eyes when you gaze in a trance, or someone staring at you downstairs, a stairway to heaven versus a stairway to hell. Why are they staring at you? I don't like to stare at people, right? It's rude. In the gaze light, and the sage light, right? Okay. The pink light, right? Luciferian light. Likes to parade as an angel of light. The blindfold that you're wearing, first and foremost, God allowed you to put on yourselves. And some of you go as far as to join Masonry, and then you put on another blindfold, figuratively speaking. And the world that you perceive is a very pitiful place. The world that you cannot perceive is a great place. And some of you mistake your feelings for God's Spirit. Mere feelings and mere fellowship with Luciferians. All your religions, all your beliefs, where they matter most, are incorrect. And so, in the midst of all this knowledge, all these provocations, the word right? Provoke. The word provoke rhymes with yoke, rhyme and reason. They're provoking me because they can't yoke me to darkness and evil and iniquity. Because they are diabolical, rapacious wolves, and sometimes they have what passes for sheep's clothing. But if you don't see through it by now, it's rather unfortunate. As they say, Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you hypocrites, because you are lip service types. So typically what happens is I get angry at some point in my video, and after my video I kind of calm down and I ask the people who are listening to me all the time, and no, it's not in my head, I'm the top martial artist ever possible. There's a reason why it's called martial law, and martial is marital scramble, and Hamas talks about heroic martial arts, and Navy SEALs do some sort of hand-to-hand combat, and so do, Rangers and various people in the military, right? Berets, what have you. There's a reason why the martial art movies are some of the most popular movies out there, The Black Panther is said to do Wakandan martial arts, and every martial art out there, according to some sources. Okay, you had Van Damme, Steven Seagal. Okay. You have Scott Adkins, Jet Li, and there's so many of these guys. Bruce Lee, Bolo, on and on and on and on and on and on. Right? Dolph Lundgren, did I say him yet? Dolph Lundgren. And on and on. Females that do martial arts moves. Somebody used to have a crush on Shannon Lee, If she has a daughter, tell her, to send me a message as soon as possible. I might have attempted a joke, but unless she's married, of course. I'm not a womanizer. And so, again, as you look at this situation, people provoke me. Marshall is marital scrambled, and I, Christ, and the bridegroom. And I'm the most romantic person that ever existed, which means when they human traffic, it pisses me off more than everyone else. Sex trafficking, child trafficking, rape, sexual assault, twisting things, the organized rape by deception construct, right? Rape by deception, misdirection, okay, coercion, coerced-based sex, sexual harassment, every one of these heinous crimes and ideas. It's despicable, really. Nobody loves the thought of being in love more than I do. And for the last, at least, we can start it when I'm 13 years old, we'll say 12, that's 31 years. I have been teased and provoked and cheated as a brain surgeon son. Now think about that. I say this a lot for a reason. Imagine I was in first grade. I'm brain surgeon son. 6th grade. High school, college. Tall, dark, and handsome. Basketball stars, top martial arts. At some points in my life, I was clearly the most handsome person that ever lived. I wouldn't say so much right now because I've been fumed and poisoned for years, but I'm still a pretty good-looking guy. I'm more good-looking than most. And certainly when you see me for who I am, I far surpass everyone else. They look like people who have conformed and shrank to fit, while I look like God's son carrying his cross. Far more appealing to any woman with sense. But I've been shunned. I desire making love to a woman even now after all the fuming and poisoning. Haven't been on a date in 6 or 7 years. While people are trafficked, while women sleep with the people who traffic them, women sleep with wife beaters, rapists, the people persecuting me, mass murderers, mass rapists, drug dealers, you name it. White supremacists, what have you. Where people are raped in wars all over the world. I'm shunned. The most important romantic activity, you might say sexual activity, that could take place is not taking place. But what is rape and murder and child molestation. 1 in 4 little girls is sexually assaulted before the age of 18. 1 in 6 little boys. Those are statistics, I believe. It's probably worse than that. 1 in 5 Americans are said to be on psych meds. They say don't slut shame, which highlights there's women sleeping with scum in detestable ways all the time, which is something that should be highlighted if it's going on. There's sex workers, strippers, hookers, escorts, porn stars, but I'm shunned. The most populated state in one of the most populated countries in the world, but I'm shunned. I'm mulatto in the most liberal, what is supposed to be the most liberal place on the planet, but I'm shunned. They try to get me to settle in the past, catfishing me, what have you. Gays harass me. Gays harass me every day. But I'm shunned by attractive women. And many of them are their allies, and lots of them live within 100 miles of me. And many of them have come across me and would certainly not give me a chance, and I could tell by looking at them. So as we consider the evidence, as we analyze and weigh the facts, as we look at this with a rational mind, is my mind expressing itself to you and my thoughts being processed by your mind force you to think in a more rational way than you usually do? What does it say? What do you see? What is your mental vision now? I am in the right. That's why it says in Psalm 45 rather, that attractive women should submit to me. I am the king, called God as a title, as God's representative. So they shun God and have satanic sex all over the world, and perhaps I should keep it to myself. Christ is a character in the story. Didn't. Revelation, outside the gates. Consigned to the lake of fire. Various groups, including the sexually immoral. Need I go on?